Hi everybody, Coulter Brown here with Northern Ag TV. We just wrapped up the Northern Livestock Video Early Fall Preview, another huge record-setting sale. I'm joined here by Ty Thompson with Northern Livestock Video. And Ty, right out of the gate, you had 400-pound steers selling for $6 a pound. It's an unbelievable market.
Oh, most definitely. All classes would have been a full $20 higher than they were last month, some 30, some 35. The demand just continues to go. The ones you're talking about were the 2-Dot Ranch out of Cody, Wyoming. 780 steers, weighed 405. They're all May, June born. They brought 607.50. Their heifer mates weighed 370 and bring 570 a pound on the heifers. But, they're a ranch that has sold with us every year religiously on this August sale. I'm really noticing that these people that do the same thing year in and year out really are reaping benefits. But everyone's reaping benefits now, but it pays to have that same marketing program year in and year out.
You bet. Well, were there any trends in this sale that jumped out to you, or just every single one of them was hot?
I was talking to someone earlier. A lot of times you can say, well, they were looking for earlier delivery dates or later delivery dates or 5 1/4 weighs. Every single class, every delivery date was high demand. The one thing we did see this sale was the replacement buyers took the feeders out this time. We had our replacement section that Joe always does. There's 55 lots, I think. Nearly every one of them went for replacements, which is good to see, but they brought a lot of money. The light ones weighing in the high fours would bring 2350, 2400. The ones weighing 575, 6 1/4, they'd bring up to 2600 per head for a heifer calf coming in October, early November.
Well, that brings up the question everyone's asking is, when are we going to grow this herd? Are we going to see heifer retention? Is that something we may see nationally? But boy, in Montana, I don't know if we're going to grow a lot.
I don't see it coming. There's too many factors at play. And people are making, more money than they've ever made on less cattle. These ranches need a rest. Mother Nature's got to cooperate a little bit. Labor's an issue. I don't see our herd growing back to what it was. It's definitely going to expand nationwide with these prices, but going back to the numbers we saw 10, 12, 15, 20 years ago, I don't see that happening. But you also have to keep in mind how efficient we are with our production, and we're producing we produce a lot of tonnage with less cattle.
Well, one thing I would ask you, as we think about, this price rally, a lot's been made about, tight supplies of cattle, but also it's tremendous demand for this product that we're seeing.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, we've had tight supplies before, not this tight, but as I just mentioned, we're producing a lot of tonnage, so we have to have the other end of the equation, and that's demand. We're making these cattle big, especially this year. They're going to get bigger yet because we've got such reasonable corn all over the country. We're going to be producing a lot of tonnage again. This demand is so good domestically. The young people are all eating beef. Someone was telling me today that there's some social media craze about these young mothers feeding ground beef to their children to get away from the processed food. So it's just a whole different ballgame than it was 10, 15 years ago, where people were hating meat. We got Beyond Beef going bankrupt, and we got people eating meat that are young, so it's great.
Well, looking forward, do you see some seasonality returning to this market? We sure haven't seen it yet in the fed cattle or the box beef. Do you think we'll see that typical fall run, or what are you telling guys as they plan for the fall?
I mean, normally, we see some sort of drop-off. It's probably not going to happen this year for the simple reason that we have pre-sold these cattle so far ahead. For instance, our June sale was way bigger. Our August sale was smaller. It's that way nationwide with all the sales. People that normally would run 30 or 40 or 50 yearling steers, over the summer, they sold them way back in February because it was so good, right? So we've pre-marketed so many of these cattle. I think it's going to keep us pretty good. And then the corn crop, if they get it in the bin, is unbelievable all over the United States.
But if guys still have calves to sell, there's another Northern Livestock Video sale coming up.
We've always got a sale for people, Coulter, you know that. But we got September 15th. That's our final sale of this year. The consignment deadline's the end of the month here. We'll have quite a few bred cattle, but one thing I didn't mention, this past sale, our yearlings were, some of them were $20 a hundred higher than they were in July, and July was as good as it could ever possibly get. So the yearling deal, the demand is great. If you have a load lot of yearlings, they're in high demand. Don't sell them too cheap. But we'll have calves, yearlings, and bred stock on that sale. Deadline the end of the month.
Well, it sure is exciting to see this red-hot cattle market. We're just excited to see where it goes. For Northern Ag Network, I'm Coulter Brown.